For thousands of years, every morning and every evening, Jewish people around the world have recited a prayer that has shaped their identity and devotion to God. These words are known as the Shema, named after its opening command. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God. The Lord is one. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. For generations, these words have reminded God's people who He is and how they are called to respond to Him. In this video, we're going to explore one of the most important words in this prayer, the word love. Israel is commanded to love God. But what exactly does that mean? When most people hear the word love today, they often think about emotions. We say we love our families. We love our friends. We love our favorite foods. We love certain places, hobbies, movies, and music. The same word is used for many different kinds of experiences. And ancient Hebrew is surprisingly similar. The Hebrew word for love is pronounced Ahavah. At its most basic level, Ahavah refers to affection, care, attachment, or devotion that one person shows toward another. But like the English word love, Ahavah can describe many different kinds of relationships. For example, in the book of Genesis, Abraham showed Ahavah for his son Isaac. This is the love of a parent for a child, a love that protects, a love that sacrifices, a love that seeks the good of another person. Jonathan showed Ahavah for David. Their friendship became one of the strongest examples of loyalty in the Bible. His love was not merely an emotion. It was demonstrated through faithfulness and sacrifice. The Bible also uses Ahavah to describe the relationship between a people and their king. The Israelites showed Ahavah for King David. They trusted him. They followed him. They remained loyal to him. Even political alliances could be described with Ahavah. The Bible tells us that Hiram, king of Tyre, loved David. This doesn't mean they shared romantic affection. Rather, it means there was mutual respect, loyalty, and goodwill between them. Because of this relationship, Hiram later helped Solomon build the temple in Jerusalem. So, Ahavah is much broader than romantic love. Family love, friendship, loyalty, commitment, devotion, kindness, faithful relationships. All of these are contained within this one Hebrew word. And understanding this helps us understand one of the Bible's most profound claims. God Himself has Ahavah. God loves. Throughout the Old Testament, God's love for His people becomes one of the central themes of the entire story. In Deuteronomy, Moses reminds Israel that God chose them because of His love for them. This is a remarkable statement. God did not choose Israel because they were the largest nation. They were not the strongest. They were not the most impressive. In fact, Moses specifically says they were among the smallest of the nations. God's love was not a reward for their greatness. It was not earned. It was not deserved. It originated entirely from God's own character. God loves because He loves. His love begins with Him, not with us.
The prophet Jeremiah declares that God's love is everlasting. Unlike human love, which often changes with circumstances, God's love remains constant. Human affection can fade. Human loyalty can fail. People can disappoint one another. Relationships can break apart. But God's love remains. His Ahavah is not temporary. It is enduring. It stretches across generations. It survives human failure. It continues even when His people wander away from Him. The prophet Hosea compares God's love to the love of a husband for his wife. Even when Israel is unfaithful, God continues pursuing them. Not because their actions deserve His love, but because His character is loving. The prophet also describes God as a parent caring for a child. A parent teaching a child to walk, lifting them up, caring for them, providing for them. God's love is deeply personal. It is not cold. It is not mechanical. It is not merely an obligation. It is genuine affection flowing from God's heart. But there is another important aspect of Ahavah. In the Bible, love is never only a feeling. Love always expresses itself through action. God does not simply feel love. God acts in love. Consider one of the defining events in Israel's history: the Exodus. For centuries, the Israelites lived as slaves in Egypt. They cried out for help, and God responded. He delivered them with great power. He confronted Pharaoh. He parted the sea. He rescued His people. Why? Moses says it was because of God's love. His Ahavah moved him to act. God's love is not passive. It accomplishes something. It rescues. It provides. It protects. It restores. Again and again throughout the biblical story, God's love takes visible form through His actions. This understanding of love shapes the Shema itself. When Israel is commanded to love God, they are not merely being told to feel affection toward Him. They are being invited into a relationship expressed through loyalty, obedience, and trust. Moses asks, "What does the Lord your God require of you?" And then he answers, "To fear the Lord your God, to walk in all His ways, to love Him, to serve Him, and to keep His commands." Notice how these actions are connected: love, service, obedience, faithfulness, walking in God's ways. These are all expressions of genuine love. Biblical love is demonstrated through the direction of one's life. Love becomes visible. It takes shape through choices, through priorities, through actions. And this leads us to one final dimension of Ahavah: how we treat other people. The Bible consistently teaches that love for God and love for others are deeply connected. You cannot separate them. God is described as the defender of the fatherless and the widow. He cares for those who have no one else to protect them. He shows love to immigrants and foreigners. He provides food. He provides clothing. He welcomes those who are vulnerable. Because God loves the foreigner, Israel must love the foreigner too. The people of God are called to imitate God's own Ahavah. The love they have received is meant to flow outward into the lives of others. This principle eventually becomes one of the most famous commands in the entire Bible. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. It means treating others with dignity, showing compassion, offering forgiveness, seeking justice, helping those in need, protecting the vulnerable, caring for people who can offer nothing in return. When we arrive in the New Testament, this theme reaches its fulfillment in Jesus. Jesus teaches that the greatest commandment is the Shema. Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the second commandment is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. According to Jesus, all of God's instructions flow from these two commands: love for God, love for others. Jesus demonstrates this love through his own life. He heals the sick. He welcomes outsiders. He forgives sinners. He serves his disciples. And ultimately, he gives his life for others. Through Jesus, God's Ahavah becomes visible in its fullest expression. This is why the Apostle John later writes, "We love because he first loved us." Our love does not begin with us. It begins with God. His eternal Ahavah becomes the source of every act of genuine love. And so, when we return to the Shema, we begin to hear its words differently. To love God is not merely to feel something. It is to trust him, to follow him, to serve him, to imitate him, and to extend his love into the world around us. Because in the Bible, Ahavah is more than a feeling. It is faithful devotion expressed through action. It is the love that God has shown to his people from the beginning. And it is the love he invites his people to share with one another. That is the Hebrew word Ahavah.